Hello everyone, and welcome back to Occult Perspectives. So, in this video today, I'm going to attempt to cover a topic as best I can from intuitive understanding. I will probably entitle this video Lucifer Part 1. Because this may take more than one video. If you want to know kind of more the Kabbalistic or, metaphysical, kind of the textbook understanding of what Lucifer is, his role on the original tree of life before the fall, all of the things related to that nature, I recommend you go back and check out the videos I did on that, mostly quoting information from Thomas Carlson's Kabbalah, Qliphoth, and Goetic Magic, because he goes into those details quite extensively. The videos that I did, you can find them in the Left-Hand Path playlist. Lucifer, Satan, and the Devil, Part 1 and 2. I think I only did 2 parts to that series, but I also talk about it a little bit more in some of the other videos on the Left-Hand Path playlist. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Tyler Smith. I'm mostly an occult researcher. I am a practitioner as well, but I have kind of taken a step back from my practices in order to kind of work on some peace of mind for myself right now. I've been called to kind of take a step back, gather new information and knowledge, and then when the time is right, I'll be able to, start my practices stronger than ever. I'm looking to gain a solid foundation before moving forward. I think it's always a better idea to, plan and get yourself grounded, work on your mental clarity and all of those things before moving forward in any such work. But yes, my background is mostly studying ceremonial magic. I'm studied in Freemasonry, I'm studied in Kabbalah, and I'm studied in the Tree of Life. I've been initiated into Masonry. I've gone through, the main 3 degrees, and I'm also a 32nd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. As far as being initiated on the Tree of Life, that, not as much. I'm not a part of any magical order or anything of that nature. I have visited a couple temples before. I've done lots of meditation work, working with the energies of the different spheres on the Sephirotic tree. There have been many times in my life where, I know that I was initiated in a way that is, what is the word I'm looking for? A non-curriculum type way, I'll put it that way, in a real life manifestation way. I have gone through some very death and rebirth type situations, to the point where I didn't even think I was going to make it. I'm surprised I've even made it this far, to be honest. And the information I've gathered through going through those processes of death and rebirth have completely changed me into this entirely new being. So in that sense, I am Kabbalistically experienced. I've been studying, I've been reading enough, meditating long enough. Not so much as of late, but I started my meditations pretty heavy back in 2016. I joined, the Masonic fraternity in 2014. So it's been a minute since I started that. So lots of life changes, lots of life experiences since then that have just, changed my paradigm on the way that I view this world. So that's just to give you a little bit of background. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the subject of this video. So Lucifer, as we know, is kind of one of the most misunderstood subjects. And I have not done really any conscious work with Lucifer. It's more like the spirit or the entity of or the archetype of what Lucifer represents has made itself known to me. It's like it's reached out. Especially as of late, I've come across a lot of new information about, quote-unquote, the left-hand path. Now, as we know, there's a right-hand path, technically, and a left-hand path, and then there's a middle path, which they call the royal path, which goes straight up through the tree of life. There's 3 pillars on the tree of life. But it's all one path, technically. There's just different directions you can go on the one path. So this spirit, Lucifer, a lot of Christians will view it as the devil or Satan. And while these characteristics do play into what this ancient spirit is really older than all of these religions. It's really older than all of these belief systems. It's something that's been around for a really long time. A lot of people view Lucifer as a feminine energy or a feminine force. Some say it's an ultraviolet angel because that's the higher spectrums of light. And that's why when you perform like the lesser rituals of the pentagram, you're seeing the blue light, because it's like the last visible kind of light on the spectrum before you get into those higher spectrum forms of light, like ultraviolet. So this is more just this information. Remember, this is what the spirit has just like brought this information to me. I have not even really consciously worked with Lucifer. I've worked with all the normal angels that you would during, ceremonial magic. And come to an idea of what they mean pretty well, worked with their energies, gotten to know what they represent within myself and outside of myself. And this is something too that's really important to remember when it comes to dealing with angels or demons or any of these things. These are all aspects of ourselves. They exist within us. And I'm not going to share this whole experience, but I just had this, it was really weird because I texted my friend the other day that I was being called to learn more about Lucifer. And not 20 minutes later, this guy shows up at Kroger, and he's like super, like, it was weird. He's come into Kroger a couple times where I work, and he's like not part of a big church, but he claimed he was a pastor of this Philadelphia church. I think he was a little cuckoo. He was nice, of course, but he was, all about Jesus, and I think he could sense there was something really different about me. I think he was channeling spirits because his eyes kept blinking and stuff and looking at me, and it was really weird. It was really strange. So I think, and I've seen this before. I've seen this with like Southern Baptist people and people of different like Christian denominations. Like, they're kind of really weird folks. Like, and I don't think that the energies that they channel are Yeshua or Jesus. Like, I think they're channeling something like completely different from what they even think they are. I don't know what they're channeling, but it's always a weird experience. They always want to touch your hands, like, and I did pray with them, I guess, real quick, maybe more just to get him off my back. Next time I'm not going to go so easy on him, though. I'm going to, like, give him a little more of a theological test and an occult test, but it was a really weird experience. He was really just trying to convince me, of the Christ and all that. And but there's nothing wrong with, people's beliefs or whatever, whatever they want to believe, but the way that Christ is worshipped in all the churches and stuff, they're all focused on his death. They're all focused on his crucifixion. They're not focused on the light-bearer aspect of Christ, the knowledge, the gnosis. That's why Gnostic Christians really stand out to me, because they're a whole different breed of intellectualism and Christ consciousness combined, which is cool. So really, Lucifer and Christ in his true essence, he said, be ye as wise as serpents. Lucifer Da'at, that 11th sphere on the tree of life, death, which is the portal to the Klipothic realm, as we know, that's the serpent. That's represented by the serpent. So, in a sense, the light bearer aspect of Lucifer and Jesus are not really different. It's like really different sides of the same being. And that's something that I've come to a deep understanding of within myself, that these things are not separate. And people that try to say there's a devil, like, oh, there's demons. Yeah, maybe there's different entities around, and there's some nasty parasitic things, but the real demons, those people aren't really educated on what the demons are. They have their place. They have their role in creation and destruction. The angels and the demons, it's like cats and dogs. There's different creatures in the evolutionary scope of things. Is one bad or one good? Not really. Do they have different characteristics and roles that they play? Of course they do. So it's more healthy to view it from that mindset. But to me, Lucifer is this ancient primordial spirit that really exists before any man-made religions. This isn't and he manifests in different forms across time. And in Egypt, I've heard he is Ra, the sun god Ra. In the Anunnaki story, I think he would be Enlil. Enki and Enlil. It was the one that woke up humanity from being a slave race. Basically, gave them the knowledge, the light, so that they could awaken. So really, in a way, if you view a lot of people, they think God is all light, and they don't really look at the punishing aspect of God, or the aspect of God. When you look at us when we were in the Garden of Eden, we were all just innocent children. So a lot of times our parents, they want what's best for us. But I think in the case of the ancient accounts, if you're looking at it from an Anunnaki standpoint, really it was a god that was wanting to be worshipped, and or a being per se. Yahweh being this collective consciousness, as it talks about in the Book of Ra, and Universal Mastery, of course, he goes into great detail about this entity, and how it was really, however you want to view it. There's so many different stories, so I don't really want to get into the details of the story. But the essence is there was a controller god, or a demiurgic, we'll call it lowercase god, and that's still even kind of going on this planet today. There's this matrix controlling energy, but then there's this Lucifer, and the name's not even really that important, but Lucifer is kind of what occultists have attributed it to. It's this light which is really going to free you and break you from the chains of that. Look at Prometheus. Prometheus, he suffered to bring humanity knowledge, and then he got chained to a rock, and he's being attacked by these vultures day in and day out. Lucifer is, if we're viewing it from the story aspect, being the first son of God, he was willing to be punished, he was willing to go through eternal damnation, essentially, to be the prince of hell. He was willing to take that sacrifice in order to help humanity. We call it the Luciferian experiment. It's the separation, the dualistic consciousness, so that we can know each other through separation, and then unify again and come to know ourselves better. So really, and there's a video, Giving Wisdom to the Voices of the Ages. I think that YouTube channel, they have a video on Lucifer, and it's really a beautiful video about how, he made the sacrifice, and really the source of all goes beyond any of these biblical gods or religious gods. Those are just human egregores or aggregates of consciousness, more of a collective conscious type thing. The source, Lucifer works more closely with the source. Or if you want to even go so far as to say the real nature of the Christ, because they're one and the same, as we said before. Lucifer is like, he's the master of the mysteries. So you won't talk to very many people, Masons included, or anyone else in any other mystery schools who are really going to admit or even use the name Lucifer. They always use the name God. Or even in some rituals, they will use the name like Jehovah, or some of these other, like Yahweh, some of these other names. But Lucifer comes from the primordial chaos, the dark feminine mother, the womb. He's one of the first entities that comes after that. So I think the spirit, really works with the higher level people on this planet. And if you're somebody who really has a calling for this kind of information and this knowledge and to understand it, he's going to want to call out, and work with you. Now, are there people who use this technology for really crazy, not so good things? Of course there are. Of course there are. But as always, there's a balance. Even when it comes to black magicians, there's black magicians who work in accordance with natural law, and then there's ones who don't. Ones who sell their souls, like to gain power from Lucifer or Satan. Satan represents the adversary. It's the adversary that we face in our lives, which makes us stronger through the duality. If you look at the duality of like Moloch and Satan on Thalmael, on the Klipothic tree, that's a different archetype than Lucifer. Yeah, it's Venus too, but it goes even deeper than that. The morning star. Lucifer, this idea is so primordial that it's really even hard to put into words. And, I think Universal Mastery's channel, he has some of the deepest information, him and Curtis Joseph both, on Lucifer. Because they work with Lucifer. This is just me giving you some of my own intuition, knowledge that has come to me, and understandings that have come to me over time, and I seek to learn more. I seek to learn more about this. So Lucifer being this master of ceremonies, and even though he's not spoken about, that his energy definitely influences all mystery schools, Freemasonry included. There's always this emphasis on light within Masonry and within other traditions, being brought to light. Who is the light bearer? Lucifer is the light bearer. He's the one who brings the light to mankind. So think about that when you think about what this archetypal angel represents. And remember, he was the most beautiful angel before the fall. But the fall, remember, is all part of the plan. And I wouldn't even go so far as to call it the fall. We could call it more the awakening. The awakening of the Kundalini within man. The Spirit of God awaken within man so that man can know himself as source as well. Lucifer is connected with music. So if any of you are musicians, his spirit will resonate with you. He's the oldest of the angels, and I can really understand his energy when it comes to even the pride aspect of it, not wanting to, God or whatever, if we're going to view it from that original theological perspective. God wanted Lucifer to serve mankind. He wanted Lucifer to serve man, but then he said no. I think this is a misunderstanding, but it does make sense, because if you're this all-powerful being, why would you worship something that is not of the same degree? It just doesn't really make sense. And so am I saying that we should worship this energy? No. Am I saying that you should sell your soul to this energy? No. I'm saying familiarize yourself with what this energy represents at its core, without the misunderstandings and the trappings and the mislabelings that our society has purposefully put on Lucifer. So Lucifer, to me, he's kind of almost this more mellow. He's this very masterful being. He doesn't have to be angry. He doesn't have to, although he can be that. We all have that protective force. We all want to protect that, which is, you know, sacred to us. And he will become that. He can destroy you if you get out of alignment with natural law and yourself. But also, this force wants to teach you. It wants to illuminate you. And so if you look at the two aspects of Lucifer, there's this calm, cool, clean-cut kind of energy. And I mentioned this in one of my Zelda videos, actually. If you look at Ganondorf, the one side of Ganondorf is more the black sorcerer side. And this represents more the mystical, angelic side of the beautiful angel that resided on the original Da sun. It was the original black sun, which was above Tippereth on the original tree. So Archangel Michael was originally down below, and Lucifer was up above here. I don't have my chart with me. So that represents the more angelic version of Lucifer. And then the more satanic side is the more bestial form. That's the more carnal form. That's the Satan side of Lucifer. So, all right, everyone. I feel like I got into the archetype of Lucifer, you know, fairly well in this video. I'd like to talk about it more as more information, you know, comes to me. There's other energies I want to work with too before I jump into, you know, actually, you know, sitting there and meditating when I do find the chance. It's just been really busy lately, so I'm trying to find a balance like within my daily life. So once again, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and please subscribe and hit the notification bell and give this video a like as well. Feel free to share with like-minded people. So until next time, everyone, peace and blessings.